Welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stuart Booth.
I'm Joe Luffman.
Got something then, kid?
No, I nearly put my elbow in that.
Oh dear, that would be a bad start. Welcome to my garden.
Yeah, lovely, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Apart from, I didn't realise how noisy them birds were in that tree behind us.
Well, it's a good job my brother's not here because I know what will be happening.
Shooting them.
Yeah.
Good
yeah,
lad.
They're gone in a pie tonight.
Bring back the fridge.
The fridge.
Yeah. Right, okay, on today's show we're going to be talking Premiership, bit of fantasy football, Hamilton versus Verstappen. Obviously it's in Abu Dhabi, it's in our local neighbourhood.
Down the road.
Just as they say. Interesting one that I put forward to you about West Ham, and we'll have a little conversation about them. And obviously the Ashes started a couple of days ago, and you can tell by Jack's reaction how well that's going. But we're going to start with the Sporting Week for you, Jack, which was
the Sevens.
The Sevens.
Of course we were there.
So we were at the Sevens.
Did you forget that? It's been a long week.
I was just trying to work out if you'd had your cup game and when the cup game was on, but that's actually this weekend.
Yeah.
So it was the Sevens. So as we spoke last week, you were heading into day two, having won your first two games, heading to the quarterfinals, and then what happened? So
we won third group game on Friday morning, convincingly, very good victory. We then, ironically, because it's all obviously mapped out, but we didn't really know. We were the first to qualify, so we had to wait all day. I think that was 8 o'clock game, and then our next game was at 3 in the end, and it was Exiles again, and we absolutely wiped the floor with them. But yeah, so despite what you might read on Instagram story that the Exiles won the plate competition and went crackers all over social media, it effectively meant they came 9th. But whatever. Anyway, in the proper competition, we absolutely annihilated them. So which meant we got to the semi-final on Saturday at midday.
Yes.
And we had a great game. Unfortunately, came out on the wrong side of it. It was actually ended up going to a super over.
It was 87, was it?
Yeah, 87, yeah. So we were chasing 88 to win. Didn't got to the greatest start, but then hauled it back in. And to be fair, we needed 2 off the last delivery. So in that format, you should win, really. But to be fair, the lad bowled a good ball, and we managed to scramble the single, and then went into a super over. Unfortunately, we lost the 2 wickets in the super over from balls 3 and 4, which meant obviously we defended 8, but still took it to the last ball.
Marvellous.
We didn't really have much clarity of thought. So Clint went out to bat me and Clint, and I said to Clint, "You've got to face first ball. Usually it'd be Messi, but he's the one who's got the ability to hit a 6 from any length."
Yeah.
Okay. So and there was a win. He said, "Well, you could hit with the wind." I said, "Well, I'll get the opportunity at some point." So he hit the first ball for 6. Then he just sort of missed it while he was in the arc for 1. So I had a free hit then out, and then. But what I should have done in hindsight is probably just gambled and gone 1. Got Clint on strikes, and probably you've got 3 balls now. Because even if he then went 4.4, but didn't, and then Dave did the same thing, got done by a slower ball, going for a big one, got out, and that killed us. So it's criminal, really, when you think about it. Then the super over, we only faced 4 of the 6 balls, but that's. It's the first time I've been in a super over.
I was going to say,
it's just clarity of thought in a moment.
It's an experience to be in a super over to start with, and then on a format of a 7-a-side game, which is unique on its own anyway.
Yeah. So, but we just, like I say, the Clint bowled a fabulous over. Ironically, he went for 4 first balls, so we were profitable against it. But it was good. We ended up coming. We didn't have a 3rd and 4th players, but our record was better than the Oman's, so we ended up 3rd in the tournament. So we were really pleased with that, and it was a great weekend. Obviously, you were there for part of Thursday, all day on Thursday. It just carried on. So yeah, great weekend, great experience for us all, and we go again on Saturday.
Yes, and Saturday is the knockout game, the eliminator, which you were struggling for a team, but you've managed to squeeze together.
Yeah, we've got a decent side actually. So we have got 2 lads who ironically played for the Monkey 11 who beat us.
Wow.
Who've played for us early season, who are available. So the league have allowed us to play them, because technically I think you should have played 3 league games or something, but we're like, well, there's club members, it's just that they've not been able to play on those days. They play sort of midweek for us. So
I actually quite like that ruling, that you must have to play, because I played many a game where especially in the county cups, where in your league they don't particularly do very well, but then they kind of draft these guys in for the big cup
so
games.
they can get some trophy. I do agree with it, but the problem is with the DSL is they've got that rule, but then they've got the rule where a player can play in all 3 divisions.
All right.
So it's just kind of like, well, hang on a minute, doesn't really make sense. But anyway, we've ended up with a reasonable side considering we've got 4 or 5 lads unavailable for whatever reason.
And you've not beaten Valley Boys yet, so good time to beat them.
Absolutely. What an achievement it would be to get to a final. So we'll see. Looking forward to it. Have you played any sport this week or not?
I played, dead bizarrely, we trained on Sunday evening. We looked like we were going to be playing Dubai FC on Wednesday, and then that fell through. And then I played in I didn't realise our team has a social league that happens on a Wednesday night.
Right.
So I got asked if I fancied playing in that, so I ended up playing in a 7-a-side competition last night. 2 games back to back. You play 25 minutes against one team, no half times, just straight through. Then you flip and play another one. So we played a team of lads that were from Nigeria, lots of skill and ability, no real shape or anything, and we ended up beating them 3-1. And then played a really good young pup team and beat them 4-3. So
back on the score sheet.
No, played centre back.
Oh.
Well, it was a different manager last night, so Cobby was like, Stu, can you play back? But the only saving grace I'd probably say I had a decent performance on both games is that I played full duration in both games, and a lot of lads got rotated. So I'll say the stalwart.
We'll take that.
We'll call me a stalwart. But yeah, good run out. But I think for me, the reflection for the week was for sport would have been Harry's team.
Yeah.
So people in Dubai, they literally turn up for the first 3 games, fielding pretty much an under 16, average age probably 15 and a half years old in an under 18 competition, and got put to the sword on the first day.
Under 19, yeah?
Yeah, under 19. Yeah, they're under 19 competition, so they were giving away 2 or 3 years on most, and Harry's only just turned 15. So it was a learning experience. I think the first day was rabbit in headlights. And then what happens, they finished bottom of the group and then they went into the plate, similar to the Exiles. And they played a Bahrain team in the semis of the plate, beat them. So that was like, we've just done awesome just to win a game. And I know you should never set out, but I think setting smart goals is key. And this is a 2-year journey for these guys. And then they played the team Alain in the final, who'd pumped them 37
the night before,
37-9 or something the day before, and actually beat them and beat them comfortably. And then I've just watched the footage of it, and I've just been going through it and analysing it. Is the boys it was just like 2 different teams. It was almost like they needed that day of, right, this is what it's all about. So with no expectations at all to win anything, and then to come away winning the plate has gone above and beyond our expectations, but also sets them on a pathway now for a 2-year rotation of looking at where we can be in 2 years. But listen, in regards to winning it, potentially not. I wouldn't put my hopes on that. But we now have a plan where we could be quite successful.
Great. So I'm not criticising the play for the. It's a great opportunity for extra and certainly for the kids in the development thing. What a brilliant! And unfortunately, I didn't get to go to watch the final because it was the same time as our quarter final. But Lark sort of did both. But yeah, it was a great effort. I watched the under-19 final on Friday night. That obviously takes place
in the Dubai, between the international games.
Yeah, in the actual big stadium. And my goodness me, can you tell that particularly Desk have a full-time, not just rugby coach, but full-time strength and conditioning, because they were men.
Yeah.
And I know at 18, 90, I know they're men anyway, some people, but they weren't, you could just tell they were in the proper right physique to play that sport.
Yeah.
Obviously, Du's unbelievable coach and they absolutely wiped the floor with DC.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a contest.
Well, the problem was, and this is the problem with it, is that Desk and DC are the 2 highest ranked schools with regards to rugby. But in fact, Jess, Arabian Radish's Jess, have made strides forward. But because the competition always know that it's going to be Desk and DC, they pre-auto the competition, so it's pre-planned, so that DC and Desk would meet each other. Well, the Desk played Jess in the semis and won 14-5, I think.
Yeah. And
it was 5-0 to Jess up until the last 5 minutes of the game.
Was it really?
So the final should have been Jess Desk, but because it had been pre-planned, it was the wrong 2 teams in the final.
I was just thinking, what an experience for those guys, because it was fairly full Friday night at that time. don't know, five,
You're
six.
talking tens of thousands of people there.
What an experience, and it was great. But yeah, all round a good experience for us and for your lad.
Yeah, definitely. Right, okay, we'll look at Premiership. We'll have a quick look at last weekend's games. We'll whiz through this. West Ham 3, Chelsea 2.
Good game.
It was a strange game. I thought when Chelsea went 1-0 up, Thiago Silva's heads it in. I thought this was it. That would then pretty much shut up shop, but they weren't at the races, Chelsea.
No.
Just a little bit off. They weren't massively out of it, and I wouldn't say West Ham were brilliant. Chelsea were just slightly out of tune.
Yeah, I think Moyes said that they've played a lot better than West Ham this season than what they did then. Chelsea were definitely off, and even the half-time substitutions, Lukaku was officially not fit because he did absolutely nothing. And I wonder whether Tuchel might be regretting that. I think he obviously did it to freshen things up, put a kick up the backside, and it didn't work, did it?
No,
because he wasn't fit. You know, he might have been better off bringing, I don't know, who else he had on the bench, or I kind of had it on in the background a little bit, but certainly not at the races, and a good win for West Ham now.
Yeah, and that blip continued last night with them drawing 3-3 in the Champions League and finishing second. So they were looking likely to get a first team seed in the next round, which could be Real Madrid.
Or Munich, I think, as well.
Yeah, so not good news for Chelsea.
No.
And that little blip we talked about might just be starting to appear. And I listened to Tuchel's interview, and there's going to be an element of the players' responsibility and his, and that he's actually saying that he can see that when the team goes 1-0 up, they change the way they play. Well, if they change the way they play, and he didn't say player, he said behaviour. So there's got to be something that he needs to address there.
And all clubs are going to go through a blip in a season, don't they? I mean, very rarely do you see a top side, even a top side, I should say, have a little bit of a dip at some point in the season. It's how you manage that and how you get out of it, isn't it? You know, can you get out of it with only losing one game and, I don't know, drawing a couple and winning one in a four go?
Or getting a last minute winner.
Yeah, last minute scrappy winner from at Wolves. But what a 3 points though.
We'll get onto him in a second. Newcastle picked up the first win under
There was
Eddie
a lot of late goals though, wasn't there, on Saturday?
Newcastle 1-0 against Burnley. Question marks over the Newcastle goal. I don't think there is, because I think Pope comes down, lands on top of the guy, and then the ball obviously pops out from that point. So no issues on that. Southampton 1, Brighton 1, so that's the South Coast derby. Nothing really to write home about. Wolves Liverpool game. I think on reflection, Liverpool should have won the game. The fact that they played so well. Wolves, just a bit of an awkward team, but I'd like to hear from a Wolves fan actually, was he happy, or would they be happy with the way they were playing? They were defending deep, and they seemed to be pumping down the right channel for Traore to get onto, and that seemed to be the only out. There was nothing else from them. The Wolves didn't. At one point, Jimenez was in the left back position trying to get the ball. And you're like,
I've had an issue with people like that in the past, sides like that. When they're caught up against at home against Liverpool, Man City, something like that. If I was a fan, and even as a Spurs fan or whatever, I think it's almost a free hit, because you're not expected to beat them, particularly Wolves, and particularly like if it was Watford City at home. Just play what you usually play and see what happens. But I get that people might say, yeah, but if we do that, we don't want to get pumped 5 or 6. But if you've got the mentality of it's a bit of a free hit anyway, does it really matter?
I don't know. If you're Wolves and you were 0-0 and you're just thinking, just give us a half a chance.
Yeah, and that's the opposition. You know, if you can hold on, and any player at this level up front can half a sniff, and you get half a sniff to Jimenez, could be 1-0 the other way around, and then we'd be sat here going, genius. Yeah. The bloke's a genius.
True. And then we had Watford on the evening game, 1, Man City 3. So Man City cruised through that game, scored early doors, Foden.
Yeah.
So pretty
They're
easy
looking
for them.
good, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are looking good.
Despite them not scoring that many. I'll tell you what, this will be the last time we do it in my garden with all these flies about it.
Flies around.
Some about
Leeds.
That smell. Moving on. Sunday, Leeds 2, Brentford 2. Leeds with a scrappy last minute.
Bamford, wasn't it?
Yeah, dragging themselves out to stop them losing the game. Man United beat Crystal Palace in first game with Ralph, so it was interesting to watch what was going on there. Definitely a change with regards to pressing. But then he actually has said that he wants to give everybody a chance and have a look at.
Yeah.
And that was evident, obviously, last night
Yeah.
against Young Boys, where he's put out basically.
It even changed the goalkeeper half time,
Yeah.
didn't he? And then, but I see Young Savage's lad
Yes,
came on, which I think is fair. I mean, the qualifiers never doing that if they needed a result. But I think it's fair enough. I mean, if you're a new man, the only way you see how people play is by giving them a go, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, he's not going to do it to that extreme at the weekend in the Premiership, but
They've already qualified,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
there was nothing. It was like you said, it was another free hit, Jack.
yeah, there you go. Can't beat a free hit.
Yeah, Spurs 3, Norwich 0. Great result for you boys, and
Yeah.
not particularly bowled over. Harry Kane with that potential lob, thought he should have done better.
Yeah, I think on the whole, I don't think Spurs are particularly good. I think Norwich spurned a few good chances, very good chances.
Pookie right at the beginning where he's hit the keeper.
Yeah, and there's a couple in the second half, but I think it's quite evident to see one or two things that he's clearly only still playing like a back five. He's not playing wing backs really, and I think that's notable. In fact, we've considered one Premiership goal in the 4 games because he knows that actually if we get some chances going forward I know Kane's not scoring, but in Kane, Son, and to a lesser extent Moura, they're always going to pose a threat.
What a hit though, Moura.
Oh, absolutely. That's what he is. He's a scorer of great goals, not a great goal scorer.
Sounds like Rashford.
Yeah, very similar. I think he's a similar player to Rashford. But Son didn't have a very good game, but another good finish. Kane had a good game, but just can't get that goal. He needs one to bounce off his knee.
Well, so far Divock Origi scored more goals than Harry Kane.
Yeah,
I
saw that.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest concern, I think Conte said it in his press conference last week regarding Kane, is not the fact he's not scoring, it's the fact that we've got no backup, so he has to play him every game.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest concern.
And about to go into a busy period, so you really want.
COVID, we've got 9 cases, I think.
Yeah,
Game off tonight.
Yeah, and I believe your game's very 50-50 for the weekend.
Because Brighton are struggling as well, aren't they? So, and I read today that the UEFA game, all UEFA group games have to be completed by the end of December.
Yes, so you've got Liverpool on the 19th, and then you have to fit in the game around that time.
Yeah, so we play 12th, 16th, 19th. Then we've got to fit in, and then obviously we've got Boxing Day and New Year's fixtures. So that's the biggest concern. I think Conte's definitely had an effect. You can see that. I don't think he's gone for that ultra press like he did at Chelsea because I don't think he's got the players to do it. Squad wise, fitness wise.
Well, yeah, that'll be it. Because he's brought his fitness guys in, it's just a bad time to try and get people fit because you've got games coming out your ears.
A lot of it is reliant on the front three, doing the pressing from whenever they decide. Well, it seems to me when you're watching, they're kind of half. Once the opposition gets sort of halfway in their own half, we go.
Yeah.
Or the front three go, and then.
There'll be trigger points that they'll be working on. So
because they're obviously the fittest 3, Kane, Son and Moore, and there's definitely he's definitely a back 5 at the minute. He's not a wing back, but up to 4th.
Yeah,
if the game in hand, we'll go 4th.
Yeah, I was going to say when we look at the league table, we talked about this the other day. Is that the front 3 are flying? West Ham in 4th, you guys in 5th, and there's not really much. Tell you what is shocking is goal difference.
Yes,
is you've got the front 3 miles ahead on goal difference. Then Wolves on 9, and then it's like.
I think we're just in the plus now, aren't we?
I think you might be I think you might be 0. Then somebody else is 1. Somebody else is -1, and you're talking these are top 8 teams.
Yeah, and I think actually that probably goes to. I think Conte's a scholar of the game. He's probably looked at that and gone, actually, I need to win these games. But I could do with winning them convincing in terms of clean sheets because of the goal. Because it could come down to that, couldn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Stevie G carries on. Takes a hit with City game, which you give him, and then goes and beats Leicester
Did you watch
City.
that?
I didn't watch it.
What a game!
Good game.
Like a basketball game.
Was it end to end?
I mean, Villa were pretty poor in the first half, and Leicester probably should have been further ahead. But he rested Vardy, which I guess you can kind of get in terms of the fixtures coming up. But brave decision, I think.
He's not scored on a couple either.
No, so and then he brought him on in the second half. They come out and Villa were unbelievable.
Arman Harvey scored, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Great finish. Through the legs, you'd have liked it.
I think I was training. I remember seeing it.
Sunday,
I was heading off to train.
It was a good move. It was just a good game of football, actually. Yeah. Really good for the neutral. Because, Leicester played some attractive stuff on the eye, don't they? And Villa, I think we weren't doing the podcast then, but when I remember seeing a Gerrard interview when he first took over at Rangers quite early on, and I thought, do you know what? Something about him. And he obviously did a good job there. You just wonder, but of course he's going home this weekend.
Yes, that'll be interesting. Right, so the last game was Everton 2, Arsenal 1.
Yeah.
I think Rafa needed it.
Yeah,
And
I didn't
Arteta will
watch
be
it.
probably a little bit disappointed in the end result. I've not seen any of it. I have no idea about the match reports, but just looking on it from the outside in, is that Rafa definitely needed 3 points.
Oh,
Everton
massive.
needed 3 points, and I think Arteta would be a little bit disappointed, thinking how well they have been playing.
To lose to a side in bad form. Apparently, he's a good strike. Another late winner from Damari Gray. Good strike. Apparently,
Yes,
I've not
yeah.
seen it, but yeah, I would say that's probably 3 points that's kept him in the job for another month or so.
Yeah. Well, I think they'll get through the December period
You
now.
know,
And see
why
what
would
goes
you
on.
chop it now?
Yeah. And game Friday night, Brentford-Watford.
Oh,
Midnight for us. Not particularly. It could be. It
well,
could
a bit
actually
bad
be.
game, though.
It could actually be a really good game, but it's one of them that I wouldn't risk staying up that late
No.
for that
Got a
game.
big game Saturday morning as well. I have
Yeah.
seen.
And then we're out.
You'll
watching.
be fast asleep by then anyway.
Well, we're watching this game, aren't we?
Oh, we are all over it Saturday evening.
Yeah. So
We're not getting home till Sunday night.
just let the wives know.
Just saying. Hashtag just saying. See you Monday.
Yeah. They're not listening to this, so we're all right. And then we've got City Wolves, which I hope Wolves go a little bit more at it. And Adam Traore has a nice little rep against City. If he's anybody's going to score against, it will be Man City. And then the afternoon we have Arsenal Southampton. I don't know. Neither team in particularly great form, so it could go any different direction. Southampton now just drawing too many games and just find themselves slowly sliding down just outside the relegation zone now. And then we've got Chelsea Leeds, which could be an intriguing game.
Yeah.
Leeds picked up a little bit now.
I like to call it the Ken Bates derby.
Yeah. How to ruin one club and do all right with another.
Yeah.
And then we have Stevie G coming back, which I was looking at a stat the other day. Villa were conceding on average 9 shots a game before Gerrard arrived. Now they're only down to 5. So it should be 5-0 win to Liverpool.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Play.
You never know, because he'll go there and he'll want to prove something.
He'll have a muck for it.
As much as he loves the club, you always want to go and impress, don't you?
Yeah.
So I can imagine McGinn will be central to him. Ollie Watkins will be danger. I don't know, is Danny Ings any closer to
No
being
one on the
fit?
bench. So yeah, the other night McGinn sort of played off the left a little bit. The two who had a good game. Is it young Ramsey, the young lad there? Sort of played the number 10 role. He had a good game. Just had a couple of half chances that he didn't do very well with. But other than that, he was decent actually. He'll test Liverpool in between if he can get in between the defenders and the back four.
And Tyrone Mings can be a good player, but then can also liable to.
Yeah, we were talking
Get sent
about
off
it.
and
Me and
win
my old
something
man was saying, how on earth though? I might have been going for a bit of a bad bad. How on earth is Dean Smith leaving him out? He made him captain once Grealish had left, and then. Because I'm not a huge fan of his, but I can see why he gets in England squads because he's the left side of centre half, so it suits that. And he's a massive. He's massive,
big strong player, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's like. Even I think actually when we were talking about that, he's not a bad player, And then he made a mistake, like miskicked a back pass, but he's got that in him, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think that's it. It's how he plays on the day, because if he's strong and steady, he's got all the attributes to keep Salah quiet.
Yeah.
And Salah will come down his side.
Yeah.
I know people talk about the Villa fullbacks, but I'm not. They can be all right, but I'm not particularly bowled over.
No.
Cash and Target.
Target's in you. He didn't play the weekend.
Yeah.
Ashley Young played.
Right, okay. Well, I'd be fancy getting at him.
Yeah, I'd have thought. I don't know what the injury was with Gerrard. Gerrard would him back unless he goes for Young's experience and tries to do a job on him. But I don't think that's
I just think
Gerrard's way, is it?
I think they're just too quick.
Yeah.
They'll just get exploited.
But it'd be interesting.
And then the evening game, Norwich versus Manchester
Go the
United.
Canaries. I'd love the Canaries
We
too.
are hoping we're still awake for that,
We'll be
because Mick is here and he's actually a Man United fan.
Oh, is he?
Yes. So
I should have borrowed Mr. Sadler's Christmas Norwich jump there on today.
Yes. So we'll be fingers crossed. With you.
Well, I've got a few Norwich stories to bring out.
Yeah.
From back in the day.
So we'll look forward
when
to
my
it.
old man used to do a bit of sort of skating work or whatever for it, and then he used to take his district football sides to Norwich in the morning, and then they'd play a game of football and then go watch the game in the afternoon. The head of, I guess now he'd probably be called the head of academy, but he wasn't then. It was called Gordon Bennett. There you go. That's a little stat for it.
Beautiful. Gordon Bennett.
Gordon Bennett. Oh, it's Gordon Bennett on the phone. Oh, hi Gordon.
Oh, unbelievable. And then Sunday, I think that's a tricky time for you guys.
It is if we've only got nine men.
Yeah, it depends. If you've got your team and it does go ahead, I just think that's a tricky time regardless, because Brighton are not.
Brighton will play better football. I mean, to be honest with you, that's what we struggled with Norwich because Norwich tried to pass it around and sort of winning their shadows. But again, it's another game that if we've got any aspirations of finishing top 4, we've got to go win, haven't you?
Definitely. And then we've got Burnley, West Ham, Leicester, Newcastle also kicking off at the same time. And then the final game is Palace versus Everton. Not really anything. I think Burnley, West Ham could be a tricky one because if anything, that's where West Ham seem to be faltering slightly, is against maybe the Leicester teams.
The Claret and Blue derby.
That's correct, yes.
But anyway, we'll be at home after Crystal Palace Everton on Sunday night.
Yes, we'll just be getting home at that point.
That's what I mean,
yeah. Just rocking into
48-hour session.
Yes, that's the plan of action. Right, okay, so this weekend is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and Hamilton versus Verstappen is heating up nicely.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I didn't watch it on Sunday, but action-packed race again. It seemingly is what all it's all about with them at the moment, and there were lots of crashes in the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So I don't know if that was something to do with the track. 'Cause it was a street race, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then they're building a track which will be ready for next season.
Yeah.
So obviously, I guess fairly dangerous. But yeah, I think there was some shenanigans going on between the two boys again, and with Hamilton winning means that it's just basically on this weekend. Whoever wins the Grand Prix wins the championship. Now that's good, isn't it, for the
That's
sport?
exactly what you want for every type of sport.
Absolutely, it's the guy. I think actually Dave, our captain, once he said a couple of the tight games we've had this season, even the other day, this is what I play sport for, Yeah. And it's right when you come out the other side of it, you're gutted and it hurts, doesn't it? And you feel a bit down for a little bit, but you soon snap out of it because it's not our livelihood, is it? But that's surely what sport's all about, isn't it? So I just hope that they get through qualifying all right and it actually just become them two racing each other and nobody else ends up sort of potentially messing things up in the middle of it or whatever. But very exciting, and obviously could have gone. I did look at some tickets, but the ones that are left are quite expensive.
Oh yeah, I got somebody sent me. I've got a friend, Ollie, works in this, and he literally put something on the other day. So I had a little click of he was doing. I think it was the Paddock.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was about 20,000 dirhams a ticket. Yeah. Oh, but don't worry, you get entry into the concert afterwards.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah. Who is it? Oh,
I think it's Foo Fighters.
Yeah, Foo Fighters. They're quite a big. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
The one I missed the other year was Rihanna, which I think.
And I see Alicia Keys is in.
She's doing Expo.
Yeah. Tomorrow night.
I think it's Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night. So
she's not in New York. She's in Dubai. Concrete jungles where dreams are made. Anyway,
oh my goodness, I can't believe
it's end of term.
I can't believe this is actually going to go out.
I'm high on the drug of life.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get snippets of that. That's getting played every time we do anything now. Next time you're doing a quiz, it's just going to appear when you try.
You had a good quiz last week, didn't you?
When you try and stitch me up on the quiz again, I'm just going to get that singing song out. Right. Okay. So interesting story. We'll do West Ham.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and it had the guy that does the West Ham one on it, and he's adamant that West Ham have finally got a squad that could be challenging top 4.
Over to me.
Over to you. What's your thoughts?
Right. So I think, and you did sort of prompt me a little bit when you asked this earlier in the week. I don't think in normal circumstances or in a normal season, not a normal season, but squad-wise, this is what I try. Squad-wise, I don't think they should be anywhere near the top 4. Because if you look down through the side, how many of those players would get in a top 4 starting 11? Probably only Declan Rice, playing well. There were others like Antonio. People probably have as a squad player because he's dangerous, he's strong, he's powerful, and I quite like people like Joe Bowen. But I don't think they've got the squad. I think they're poor defensively, really. They've not got the squad that should be competing for top 4. However, what I would say is that because of the likes of Arsenal and Spurs, are probably the two out of the big 6. We know all about them. We've talked about them for 18 months or more. The squads are being rebuilt, need to be rebuilt, not quite good enough for the top 4 themselves. So I don't think the squad should be good enough, but I think this season with Arsenal, who else will be around there? Leicester, Wolves, Brighton,
United.
United again. Again, I think that depends how what impact this fella can have. But they've probably got out of the lot. They've probably got the best looking squad on paper, but they don't.
Ronaldo is pretty fit though.
Yeah, he's not a bad chap. But yeah, they've probably got the best on paper. But again, they've got to play, haven't they? They've got to get players. So I don't think they've got the squad to be a top 4, but they're probably in the race because of the other clubs around them. Agree or disagree?
I think you made fair points. I like Jared Bowen. I think he would be a top 4 player. I think Declan Rice is hands down the best player they've got squad wise. What he can do is just another. I like Benarami when he plays. Forsell's is a good player. Antonio leads the line well. You talk about, you think defensively they're weak, but Kurt Zouma was at Chelsea, so it's not like they've got nobody's there. Abangya, or whatever his name is, the Italian guy who's injured at the moment.
Zouma's injured now as well, isn't he?
I get when you say about Dawson, but you need coverage, don't you?
Yeah.
And Dawson wouldn't normally start, so you have a squad for that reason. Same as Liverpool with Nat Phillips and the other guy, Kabak. They were squad players, and they always were going to be. I think West Ham fans are a little bit deluded to think that they deserve to be in the top 4 or top 6. I think that they will struggle. I think at some point that they've been very lucky with injuries and suspension so far, but at some point that will catch up with them. Yeah. And then I think we'll probably find that they'll probably do another, similar to Leicester, is that start really well. And yes, people will say that they beat Chelsea, they beat Liverpool, they beat City in the Cup. You're completely correct on that. Beat United, I think, in the Cup as well. They're not beating them in the league. And they picked up some big scalps. I think when they play the Leicester teams, like Burnley this weekend, this is where they'll struggle. And then when they do have a cluster of games, that squad will get found out. Yeah. I think the best thing West Ham could hope for now is a good cup run.
Yeah, I think the cup, they're going all right in the Europa League.
Yeah.
So they could do something decent enough in there. And if they could finish top 6, I would say they've had a good season. I just think that, like, Antonio's up to he probably is a goal scorer now from when he was 2 years ago, but if he's injured, and he's always likely to get an injury, isn't he? That where do the goals come from then? Like defensively, and again they're being tested because a bomb Lombombo, while he was called, he's injured. Kurt Zouma got injured on whenever day it was, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. So I don't know who else they've got a centre half. Declan Rice might have to play there, I guess. But But again, I suppose the other side of it is don't be surprised if they do finish in there.
Yeah.
Because a bit like last 2 seasons, those other sides in and around, and those other the big 3, if you like, Arsenal, Spurs, and Man United, just aren't doing it.
No. Right. Well, leave West Ham there. Let us know what your thoughts are. Ashes. You said your words to me last week were, "I'm going to get up early Wednesday morning, watch the first session."
I did. 3:45 got up, cup of tea, sat down yesterday morning. Wonderful. This is perfect. It's quiet. It's nice in the morning.
How did the first over go?
Well, we lost them for the first call. So that didn't go. Well, to start off with, actually, Stu, I couldn't believe that even before the first ball that we're not. Anderson was never playing because they announced his squad, and whether he's injured or not, I don't know. But they're now saying rested. I'm not so sure. But Broad was in the squad and was left out of the toss. Bizarre, utterly bizarre. 1,000 Test match wickets we've taken out of the side there. So anyway, that flabbergasted me a little bit at the toss. Then he wins the toss. I'm a win the toss. Think about bowling, bat. Think about bowling again, bat. I think in Test match it's a positive thing to do on the whole. And I know we've had the famous NASA was saying win the toss in 2003 and they got 370 for 2 on day 1. But there's been loads. They've not played any cricket because it's been raining for 2.5 weeks. The pitch was as green as your artificial grass here. Overheads, you just had to gamble and bowl. But we batted. Yeah. The reason being because we left Broad out and picked leaks to spinners. So once you've done that on a non-spinning track, you're going to definitely, after you've got to bowl, you've got to bat first because you obviously play on using in 4th innings. And then debacle. Poor from Burns. Milan was a little bit unlucky, but he sort of poked it on. Root got a good ball for naught. And then that was about. I got showered and changed, went to work at tea when we'd had a bit of a mini recovery in. He was in Stokes and Hamid, but then obviously it just went by the wayside. And today,
147.
147 all out, and then today, I think they've got 200 run lead, 7 down. Warner's got 90 on, but we've dropped him early. Stokes has bowled him off a no ball. We've missed a run out, and I think we're reading the reports. I think some other fielding mishaps.
You're not in the worst situation then. If they're on 200 something, and you're
No,
147.
they're for 200 something lead.
Oh, 200 something lead. I think
Yeah.
meant as in like they're only like
No,
100
so
plus.
I think it's a 196, 197 lead. So
Okay.
they're absolutely, they'll pile it on. I mean, I suppose to try and be positive, if we can in the morning suddenly rip those first 3 wickets out, which can happen in Test cricket for not many more, and then you suddenly you've got to bat for at least a day and a half then to
Put
see what
something
we
on,
can do,
yeah.
and see what happens.
So
But
we're thinking the best England could scrape out this one is a draw.
I think to get that, they need the weather to stay around. It did rain yesterday. It's not rained today. It did rain yesterday. So I think the best we can hope for is a draw. And I think to get that, we need some help from the gods and a bit of rain. And I'm just disappointed because I'm always up against it. And I just think I can't see the. I get that the Broad and Anderson probably aren't going to play all 5 Test matches because they're Anderson's 40 soon. Broad's not far off. Play a lot of cricket. There's a lot of cricket to play in 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I get that, but you've got to play the first. It's like in a World Cup group game. You play your best side first to get through to the next round, don't you? And then look at squad play. We're going to be 1-0 down before they've bowled a ball. Disappointing.
Oh, I think I could prod the bear a bit here. I reckon we could get a reaction. Right, well, we'll just leave that there then. I think it's Christmas. I'll leave you alone.
Thanks.
As we're currently wearing now.
Yeah, we have been at work in Christmas jumper day. Last day of term.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
Santa. No, not Elf.
Elf, do you know? Will Ferrell.
To be fair, he's one of my favourites. That and Die Hard are my 2 favourite Christmas films.
Yeah. Died with it was an answer to one of my questions on Tuesday night.
Was it? Oh, the quiz that last week I won.
Yeah, you did win. Well done.
Still waiting for the voucher, by the way.
Yeah.
Right, okay, on to fancy football, talking about vouchers. Okay, the
Yeah.
winner this week is Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera.
Not Aguero. Aguero either. It's Aguilera.
Oh, do we know who she is?
She's actually from Mira. She contacted me ages ago about getting involved in it, and she likes fancy football, and she set up a Mira one as well, which I think I might be, if I get this correctly, the Mira one. It's not the original Mira one. I'm doing all right on second place.
What?
Second place on the Mira, only by 4 points.
Did you win anything?
No, not a sniff. Nowhere near as good as ours. But Sporting Jibberish one, currently top is Gwyn. Oh, so Christine, if you drop us a message, we'll get you back out to you. Gwyn Williams still leading. He's actually broke the 1,000 barrier. So congratulations to him. Tom Jacko's third. John Keeney from back home Jacko's second. John Keeney from back home is third. And Booth is floating around in 15th at the moment.
I have no idea where I am.
I see a couple of points and I'm definitely 14th, and I've got a bit of a jump. Then I could be within that cluster of the next guys. And then there's not really. You'd say between third and maybe 8th. There's not
1,000
really.
points. I'm not sure I've got 100.
Yeah, I don't even know where you are. You're that low down. Let's have a quick look.
I've got broad shoulders, is alright.
Yeah. Harry Booth's in 50th.
What? I was beating him once.
He doesn't even do his team. That is shocking.
That's how bad I am.
Oh, right. So, Dubai Shakers, Matt Alder's 95th.
Oh, mate, I'm above that.
Shrek 11 is 86th.
I'm climbing this table.
Jack Luffman, 77th.
I'm there.
Wow.
How many points?
723. You've only 300 points behind first place.
I'll make that up.
And 200 points behind Stu.
I'll make that up. Not a problem.
Do you think you'll catch me?
Yeah, I'm catching you.
Oh, he's going live on the podcast. Right, okay. If you catch me, I'll take all expenses paid out to brunch.
Okay, in a Spurs shirt.
In a Spurs shirt.
Oh! Right, I'm on.
As long as it wasn't a United shirt.
I'm going to have to watch the fantasy football programme they have a be in, and
okay.
going to go study the market.
Right,
I need to, because at the end of the day, Stu.